YouTube channel near you.
Well, everybody, welcome to another edition. This is part 2. Hello there, Catherine. Hello there, Prospecting, Lulu, Gary Spikes, Lorna, Trista, Susan F., Moon at Noon, Val, Leonard, Gene Hudson, Woo Riders, and Gene, Roger, everybody, Penny Van. Hello there, Jennifer. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I just want to make sure and let everybody know that this is for entertainment purposes only. All parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And we also want to make sure, and this episode is brought to you by USCCA. So if you are traveling and you do not know your actual laws when it comes to concealed carry or your other state laws that you're going to travel in, to make sure and give them the information, because I will drop the link down below in the comments. It's also in our YouTube channel too. It's free of charge. You actually get the whole map of the United States. So make sure and know the law before you travel and check on what is right and wrong. Like I said, it's from USCCA and it's actually free. And this is brought to you by USCCA. We did partner up with that. Great organizations who want to give a great shout out. So thank you. So how are you up to? And what are you up to, Jennifer?
Just getting ready to go to work after this. What about you?
Just staying busy. So round of applause for everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Hello, everyone. Wow.
Yeah, so very interesting case that we have been following. Jennifer and I have been making some phone calls and actually talking to some people. Isn't that correct?
Yes, very interesting information.
So we will divulge some information that we found, possibly that's related to this case. Our hearts do go out to the family and friends, to this person, Katie, to the regards of what has happened. Hopefully that we can get to some information that can help in any way. But once again, if you do have any information regarding this case, please reach out to local authorities. From our understanding, and Jennifer talked about in the last episode, I do believe the FBI is involved, correct?
That's what I read. Yes.
So, yes. So, please make sure. And without further ado, we're going to bring in Angela. Angela, come on down. Bless her heart. She's not feeling too good, but thank you for tuning in. And hello. And what do you have for us?
Well, I got some. The first impression I got when I saw this, I saw her photo, was I was like a man in a truck, and I was watching her, and I was following her in the truck while she was walking, and it was a pickup truck, and a man chose her. It's like he was following her. He was sizing her up. The other impressions I got there were two involved. There were two people involved in this, at least. One was definitely male. The other one feels like it could be a female or a smaller male. The other, I went ahead and did some room drawings, or rune. The first rune I got was, this is, I was meaning death. And the next rune, Isa. So Isa meaning that she's physically deceased. Okay, so the next rune, I got this Nades. So Nades, I get the impression of being restrained. Like either like she was restrained, like held against her will, or strangled. Next rune I got was Othala. So I got family, strong family dies here. And I got a bad situation. So this is Kenya. So Kenya's, when it's the other way, usually means guidance and a light intuition, but it's the opposite direction, which means that she had nowhere to turn. It felt like it was a bad situation, trying to get out of a bad situation overall, particularly with this man that was involved. And I kept sensing it felt like maybe a relative was trying to be a support for her and try to give her advice and try to guide her out of the situation. I got that she had a very gentle heart, very caring nature, very, very caring woman. And there was tremendous of loss. But I got that she was targeted on purpose, like this was premeditated, that she was being stalked, and she was just chosen, like she was selected. Like the person who did this was feeling powerful, and they kind of treated her or looked at her as an object and not as a person, as something to be obtained, as opposed to someone you care for.
Okay, great. Greatly appreciate that. Stand by. Angela, I do have, and Jennifer will have some other questions for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, they do not know anything about this case. The only thing they did receive was just a photograph. That is it, of Katie. That was it. They did not receive any other information, nor a name. So next up, Christopher, come on down. How you doing there?
Good. How you doing, Chris?
Wonderful. So introduce yourself, and what did you get?
I'm Chris. I'm on Chris's show. No, I'm just kidding, but I'm Chris and Chris Harmon. And yeah, so I did this case, and by the way, instantly I was picking up on, for some reason, like an outdoor park, and something to do with a big dog. And the more in depth I got involved working the case, I picked up on a female who had a I don't want to use the term like love gone wrong, sort of, and something about she had maybe more than one person she was involved with, but one of them she didn't like as much as they thought she did, and so for some reason they were targeting her, and they knew when she was going to be at this not an amusement park, but more like an outdoor recreation park, like a kids playground park. They knew when she was going to be there, and so they targeted her at that time. I keep seeing that she is either like very sick or deceased, and something to do with her throat. I don't know if she was strangled, but I do see like the dog is no longer with us. The dog is gone, but I'm surprised because I'm not picking up on like the dog did anything to attack. So I don't know how that plays out. But I do see that it looks like she may be, if she isn't deceased, and it was to do with a love triangle. And I keep seeing something like like I don't when like a sister or something. Whoever this was that did this to her, she was close to him, or she knew them very well. It wasn't like a stranger just popped out of the blue and shot her. It was something more family involved than that. And that's what I'm getting.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Stand by. All right. Next up, Melinda. Come on down. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Grizz. I'm glad I'm finally on here live.
Yes.
So I'm just thrilled to be here. So, okay, I do a written out report, as Grizz knows. But what I use to look at the event, the only thing Grizz gave us was a picture. And so I use, my intuitive evidential mediumship to help determine, perpetrator or anyone that's involved, location, whatever we're looking at. First thing I got from looking at the image was that she was deceased. I did some dowsing just to see if I was right on her being deceased, and I did that. I got that with the dowsing also. The motive behind this is that I feel that there's a couple of things. It's possibly gang related, but it's also connected to something about someone that didn't like who she was or what she was about. I did get 2 males. And I really didn't feel that she knew her attacker, because or attackers. I felt like they had been watching her over a period of a month or longer, but this was something that I don't feel that she was even aware of. I did look at suspect vehicle, and I did see a dark colored vehicle, and I do have a tag that's possibly, and this is in no order, so these are just the letters and the numbers that I got. L as in Lincoln, Y as in Yankee, and S as in Sam, 6035. I kept seeing, I don't know, even know how to, on the tag, I seen an orange, like an orange. And then I was like, okay, so is that Georgia or it could be Florida? And so I did douse, and I got more of a hit on Georgia than Florida. So I'm going to go with Georgia. I did a little bit of criminal profiling on it. I feel that the person of interest, they have been in trouble before. There's been charges against them. They've committed other crimes. So to wrap this whole thing up, I kept seeing, like I said, this is a murder. I was shown a dog, but I wasn't for sure how the dog was even connected to it. It really didn't show me. I can tell you the dog was like a dark color with some white on it. Again, I feel this is possibly very connected to gang related, or also it could be possibly a hate crime. I kept seeing a park, but I felt like it was maybe a dog park because I kept seeing this dog and then I would see park. I felt that this was a very brutal crime. And I did pick up a knife because I asked, is it a gun? Is it a knife? Is it, I go through all the things that it could possibly be. And I got knife, and I showed it was like an overkill. I felt a lot of pain in the face, neck, that area. It was really aimed at. I got the initials KJ. I don't know what that is, but then this is where the weird part come in. As I was trying to close it out, I got the word, and I don't know if it was cat, KAT, or fat, but it was like something that was carved into. I couldn't tell if it was a piece of wood, or I don't know what it has to do with it. And again, it kept showing me the dog. So I'm going to go with some kind of park, could be a dog park. But again, I feel it was possibly a hate crime or possibly gang related.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you. Stand by.
Oh, Grizz.
Yes.
I do have some images. Do you want me to put that up at the possible suspects?
Yeah, absolutely.
I forgot about that. I've got them pulled up here. Let me do that real quick.
And how many suspects do you have?
I have 2,
Okay.
and they're both male. So there's the first one. And there's the second one.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'm done now, Chris. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, the next up, we have the movie star, Inbal. Welcome.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself? I follow you every time. So you're still making the newspapers over there.
Thank you so much. I'm just about to post my groundbreaking prediction about who's going to compete on a dance show in the UK. That's coming up tomorrow morning. So
Oh, wow. I can't wait to see it.
We've got a few ex-child stars, a few athletes, even somebody from America.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
Thank you. So my name is Inbal. To anybody new, I work primarily with the tarot cards, and the tarot cards help me link with images and ideas, and sometimes words that will come up in my head. I like for my reading to be really, really fresh, so I don't check out the photo until we're actually on air. So I'm going to switch screens now. Hopefully you can still see me. Where I will just now look at the picture that was sent to us and start with some general cards to see what I can pick up about this person. Right. So I feel like at the time of this person's either disappearance or unsolved crime, they were not in a very good place anyway. I feel like the life that she was leading was not very free. It looks like part of her life was very tightly controlled. So either with a very controlling partner or in a very controlling family where she had to adhere to specific rules. I don't want to say cult member or in a fanatic group that behavior was very strictly monitored, very strictly prescribed. I see her as a creative person, but I don't feel that she got to express her creativity a lot. If I turn my mind and my cards to the crime or to the events that we're looking at, it looks like there is a connection to passion. So it could be somebody who had a crush on her, somebody who was her stalker, maybe even somebody who was a partner. And I feel like there was a battle of wills where there was an argument and each of them wanted to show like they were stronger than the other, and that it wasn't necessarily intended as a crime or as a situation that could end a life. It was intended as what to them was a regular altercation. The person who we're looking for, or two people who we're looking for, it looks like there are two people involved and one person who still holds information. So it appears to me that there were two people who were sunny, worked in the sun, maybe worked outdoors, maybe people who were regularly out of doors, either for work, for festivals, had to get rid of some evidence, and it looks like it's connected with fire, dryness, dehydration. I've got crackling leaves there. And it looks like there is one more person who knows things, one more person who has information. That's somebody who had to deal with a vehicle, somebody who had to remove a vehicle or remove remains from a vehicle. So apart from the people who are guilty of the main crime, there's also some kind of an accomplice or somebody who knows things. Now, let's see whether it's still possible realistically in like a strictly scientific way to find evidence or proof, or is everything gone, everything hidden? No, it says here there is definitely evidence. It says that first of all there is a paper trail, so there might be something like credit card receipts for purchases that had to take place after the crime in order to get rid of evidence, purchases of, say, shovel, say, lighter fluid. So there is a paper trail. There's also evidence because there are people who are alive and who know it and who have a memory of it. Will anything be found out? Will this be resolved? I believe that yes. I believe that at some point somebody's conscience will get the better of them and they will come forward and reveal some information which will allow for more evidence to come to light, and that will allow a final resting place for a person. So that's what I've got there. I'm sticking around to hear everything we know when
All
you.
right. Well, thank you. Stand by. All right. Next up, Kelly Joe. Come
Hi
on down,
guys.
Kelly. How you doing?
Hi.
You feeling better?
Little bit. I get
Good.
that she was being stalked, and the stalker killed her and stabbed her. He surveilled her. He knew where she'd be, and he had the mindset of, if nobody can have her, I'm going to kill her.
Oof.
And he knew her routine and everything. He watched her all the time, and I think he even killed her dog.
Okay.
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 And
Okay.
they will have a resolution to it. And then there was like the big Ford, what are they, F-150 truck? The big
pickup trucks.
Yeah, the big truck. It was a dark Ford 450, the big work truck.
Right.
And this guy, that he was in love with her, but he was stalking her, and he had greasy hair, and he was like 6'1". He had brown eyes, clean shaven, and he wore work boots. And I think he was like a mechanic or something, because I can smell oil and grease.
Interesting.
So that's that. But he surveilled her for months.
Okay, so this is something that he knew her pretty well then.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I got on it. And she has passed away. She was stabbed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Stand by. All right. Appreciate it. Now, do you have, Jennifer, do you have the news article poll? The show?
The show?
Yeah, the news clip.
Let me go look for that.
I meant to ask you before the show. I apologize.
Oh no, it's fine. You figure it out.
Because I want to circle back to Angela, because ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer and I had an opportunity to discuss, and I'm going to divulge who that knew the victim very well, and several people. And it was kind of disturbing to a certain degree, the conversations that we had. And I will not elaborate on it because I don't know where it was going to or where it was leading to. And the case is still pending, right? But I want
Yeah.
the people that worked on the case to watch this news clipping. And I was privileged with Jennifer to join a group or organization that's actually following the case. And people actually suggested a couple of things. And you all knew a question that I asked somebody on another show. However, that person did not know the question I was asking. But before I asked the person and bring back on the show, I want them to see this news article first. So let me see if she's going to bring that up.
Every
Because
time I
then
bring this up, it goes, it won't let me. It goes right back into the show. It's
yeah, you may have to bring it up on
I'll do it a
YouTube.
different way. Yeah,
So
I'll just have to search her name on there.
So the people that are in backstage, it was a gruesome murder. She was stabbed over 50 times per the autopsy. And initials was carved on her abdomen. F-A-T.
Yep.
Now, Angela, that will probably ring a bell. The reason why I was asking you that on the show, because during a conversation in an organization, somebody was saying that they swear up and down that that was related to runes. And since you are well endowed with using that, they said that that was related to that. However, we were trying to reach out to the LGBTQ community and try to figure out if there is any slang or similarity, if somehow if that initials would ring a bell within that organization, would that mean anything to anybody? And we have not really tracked down or anything of that sort. However, if somebody is watching the show, if that rings a bell or may sound familiar, please reach out to us. Now, Standing says gang initiation, but I almost said something, but the people that we talked to was very wide open about several things, and they declined to come on the show to have conversations. And I assured them that we could hide the identity of them and not disclose who they were. And they still declined. And they were afraid that they would upset the authorities. Now, however that may be, that was kind of questionable. Now, I'm not saying in their right mind that that may be their thoughts, but if I was related or friends, I would probably want to help, but we're not here to disrupt any investigations, but trying to help with anything or bring light to the case. Because this case is now going on how many years old?
3.
So, but I don't know if anybody else knows anything. Welcome, Crystal. What those initials mean, but I'm going to bring Angela back on. I know her voice is real. I know she's not feeling good, but Angela, if you don't mind, if you could discuss our conversation, what FAT means with your runes.
So F is usually means Feu. Feu is money. It's money that you carry in your hand. It's sort of originally it meant cow, but it means mobile wealth. Like you've got a lot of cash to spend. And then A, Ansus. Ansus is wisdom. It's also talking. It's with the mouth. Okay, the words that come out of your mouth. And it also could be the windblown cloak of Odin. So Ansus meaning wisdom, but particularly speaking. Okay, especially how you talk. And then the last rune T, there's a couple of runes that start with a T. One is Thorasos. Thorasos is the thorn. It can mean danger. It can mean borders, usually associated with anything sharp. And it can also mean Tiwaz. Tiwaz means victory. It also means pointing to North Star. It can also mean oath, like a promise, something of that nature. So there's a couple options there for the T rune. But if you were to put all that together, it would be something about wealth, something about money, talking, and either danger or victory or oath.
So I don't know if that means anything in that community or not, but the people that are following the case and that are hell bent swear up and down that's what that means. However, the people that are watching the show right now that knows the victim, if you know that she was into runes or know the history of runes or the background, let us know because we don't know.
Yeah.
But for somebody to carve that into the victim's torso, that is something very personal, and that has to have meaning also to the victim. Would you not agree, Jennifer?
Yeah. And I think for sure. And do you think when you talk about oath, do you think that the meaning could mean breaking a promise?
Yes, because that rune, particularly Tyr's rune, was about breaking the oath, the first oath breaker, the god Tyr. So at Ragnarok, basically was called the Twilight of the Gods. The I think it's at Ragnarok, but there was a wolf that was called the Furnace wolf, and it was getting so big it threatened to overtake the universe and overtake the gods. And Tyr said, I will take care of this for you. He went up to the wolf and he promised the wolf that it would not be hurt. And he said, look, I'll show you how you will not be hurt. I will even stick my hand in your mouth. So he puts the hand in the wolf's mouth in order to gain his trust. And when he had the hand in his mouth, a ribbon was tied to the wolf that completely restrained it. And when the wolf realized he was betrayed, he actually bit down and took Tyr's hand off. Mm-hmm. And so it was the first oath. That actually wasn't at Iraq, I think it was more like at the beginning. But at any rate, it was the first oath, and then also the first oath to be broken. So Tyr was supposed to be the first oath maker and the first oath breaker.
Okay.
Under that, so it could mean oath, like if in the case of Tyr of this rune Tiwaz, that's also supposed to represent Odin's spear. So if you made an oath on Odin's spear, you are bound by that oath no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I want to bring Christopher, Melinda, and Kelly and Inval back in. So when you heard the initials carved on the torso, does that ring a bell? Did you all pick up anything on that?
Yes, I was picking up right along kind of like the middle side area, like almost like a cramping type pain, but more severe than that.
But what would that signify? I mean, because that is something very personal, though.
Yeah.
Gris, what I got was it was something to do with a message to somebody. I don't know who, but it was a message.
So if that is a message, then that message was not for her. Then it was for somebody else that knows her. And that's what I saw it. And because the person in that group that swears up and down about the message of runes, because they had all the runes listed in the group and they were trying to get and I talked to the person. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to Angela and during one of her shows, and it was hard not to talk to Angela about, what it was, because everybody in the chat was like, why don't you, I know what it is, because Angela's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, you'll know later. But people were watching the show last Friday, and they're watching the show now that knows the victim. But there are people that I will say, and Jennifer knows, and I'll just say it right now, they're not telling me the truth. And I think Jennifer knows that.
Yep. I agree with you. 100%. 100%.
So
I feel like they're going to get like the other lady said, they're going to get a call. Somebody's going to do a tip and they're going to break the case wide open.
Yeah.
And there is people floating around that know what happened and know who did it. There's at least 4 people.
It's interesting, though. I don't think we're even clear on who was cleared as suspects and who was not. Am I right about that, Chris?
yeah, that is correct. So
People were cleared, and then
it was F as in Frank, A as in Adam, T as in Tom, the 3 initials. However, the victim was not overweight or anything like that. She was a normal, slender, white female. However, she was in the LGBTQ. I can't remember. I guess I'm saying it right. GT, is that right?
LGBTQ.
Okay, I apologize. And so, a lot of people thought, and this is why because somebody asked me in one, I ain't going to say the organization or the chat rooms, and why is the FBI involved? And it's probably a hate crime, and that's why the FBI stepped involved.
Yeah.
Is because of her status, right? Because they do, and that's a federal crime, and that's why they will get involved, and especially the heinous of the crime. I mean, that's not something normal,
No.
and the way it went down. I mean, you're looking at a park at the location that it happened. What state and city was it, Jennifer?
It was Piedmont Park in Midtown Atlanta.
Right, and
She was
this was
She was
yeah,
actually walking on the edge of it. She wasn't actually in the park. She's
Mm-hmm.
in the park, but on the edge.
a
So
very
this
busy
lady-
park, very
Yeah.
busy park.
Even though it was
And
1 in the morning, it didn't. I don't think it mattered.
and her dog was a pit bull. So, and usually, and some people say, well, my dog is the same breed, is not an aggressive breed. However you want to categorize that breed, it's each their own, right? But usually a canine, if you are attacked, that canine will defend.
Yeah.
Now, in the news article, they tried to take a DNA sample from the canine. Evidently, it did not work out. So, evidently, that canine possibly may have bitten or attacked someone or some people. However, it didn't say.
Yeah.
So, everything just went, and that was it.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of things that's very questionable. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that doesn't matter the breed. I'm gonna support pits, and I have a Rottie. Aggression is not protection, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter the breed. I think most dogs would.
Right.
Just try
My
to destroy-
Chihuahua will bite your ankles if you attack
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now the fat word, is that a slang?
We don't know. That's when I'm
Okay.
trying to get anybody that's watching the show, whatever community you're affiliated with or whatever, if you know if that's a slang word, email us, text us, message us, let us know, because we don't know. And that's what we're trying to figure out.
The one thing I do want to say about runes as well, it takes a while. Some of these runes are kind of like ciphers, and the way, if you're familiar with the cipher with a type of a code,
Right.
and especially with these older runes and when they were used in spells and things, some of them could be written backwards. They could be written upside down. And typically they're not written out in letters like that. They're not written out with the sound of the runes. They're usually just written out because, like the Feyyu rune, it's all just straight diagonal lines. There's not really something you would write out using the Greek alphabet, and like we would understand it. You would just see the symbols, the 3 symbols. And I understand if the other context that runes were often used for was spells, like spell protection, or if you wanted to put a protection spell or a
curse on your enemies or something to protect you from your enemies, you would use the runes, and you might invoke the runes that would be needed. But those runes typically, protection runes, are usually algaes. They'll use Helgelas and Nadis, typically the most common ones. So it doesn't really make sense if it was a protection spell. That rune combination wouldn't work. It would
Right.
have to be something about that combination would have to do with protecting. If you were going to use it for a spell, it would be more like protecting money, protecting your wealth, or protecting your oath, something like that. Not so much defense or attack. And so it doesn't, to me, make sense from a runic standpoint if those are really runes. And I'm not aware of any gang members that revolve around their runes, unless they're the only groups that I know of that truly that have a religion wrapped around runes. There are some in the prison system. I've learned that there are some white supremacist groups that call themselves Sons of Odin, and then they use runes. But this doesn't seem to fit that either. And the way that this was written, it doesn't seem to fit the type of runic style or rune, the way that you would use runes.
Yeah, but law enforcement, I'll tell you right now, they have the slang dictionary, and it's updated to where they have a field guide where whatever slang's out there that they have a reference for, or they used to. But however it may be, whatever is used is either the victim's family knows or somebody else knows what that reference is for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
and Grizz, I was just looking up, and it says where I feel it was possibly gang related. It says that it is that word is used by, and I don't want to single out like anybody, but it states that, I'll just read it verbatim. FAT is an Americanism that comes from black slang and used to describe someone who is rich, such as a fat cat. This is used primarily in gang-related activities.
I think Brother Heck just referenced that, I think, a minute ago. I think
Yeah.
that's what he was saying, too, I think, a few minutes ago.
And then I think when I looked it up, one other was Faithful and True. And that was another use of it, and then free airtime. So the Faithful and True seems maybe to match the situation too, if that's what we're saying.
The thing is, it's horrible, and nobody should perish the way she did.
No.
Regardless, and I mean, I know everybody has their own walk of life, and everybody makes wrong or bad decisions in life and in everything, but it's just, and I wish we can play the news story, and I'll make corrections. Oh, did you get it?
I have a news story. I can't get the same one, but I have a news story.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Hang on a second. I haven't watched it, so
that's fine.
We're just gonna play it by ear.
All right, here we go.
Is now back in the spotlight 2 years later.
Yeah, July 28th, 2021, Katherine Janness was found stabbed to death inside Piedmont Park. In the last 30 minutes here, Atlanta police unfolding new details in her brutal murder case. Atlanta News First reporter Zach Summers is live for us outside Atlanta Public Safety Headquarters. And Zach, still many little answers here in this right now, right?
Yeah, I think so many are hoping for new details, but what we got was really the same frustrations we've heard from investigators now for the second year in a row. They want to solve this case like any other homicide here in the city. Atlanta police telling us they don't consider Katherine Janness's murder a cold case at this point because they continue to receive tips weekly. Nonetheless, they still have yet to name a suspect. Katie and her dog, Bowie, were found dead near the entrance of Piedmont Park 2 years ago today. An autopsy revealed the 40-year-old was stabbed more than 50 times and the letters FAT were carved into her chest. Investigators say they've conducted numerous interviews and continue to work with the FBI to solve the case. They would not share if Katie knew her killer or not.
What's more important is we have a wide net. We're not just alluding to one specific person. We don't want a narrow view for this case. We want to open up other avenues. If you have a narrow view of one specific person for this investigation, you may miss out on others.
Now, Atlanta police discussed a second murder they're working to solve. It involves this silver sedan. Last August, 38-year-old Prince Alazar was shot and killed outside the BP gas station on 14th Street near Atlantic.
I will stop that.
So
So
the person I talked to, several of them, said this, that they have contacted law enforcement, the hotline, and gave several suspects names. And they're not the only one. And none of the law enforcement ever followed up with the leads. And they think they either know who's done the murder or the person's already in custody, but they do not know why they're not following up on any of the leads. Now, this is all hearsay. I cannot confirm that. And I just want to throw it out. So I don't want to cause any black eyes on the department. But it's just weird when people make those comments, right?
yeah.
See, it is odd, Penny. So Natasha says fat means high class luxury type.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is possible, yes. So I didn't get to see pictures. On open cases, they don't release pictures in the autopsies. So but at first people thought it was the initials of the pet, but it was not. Brother says the truth is the gay community isn't interested in embarrassing overweight people. No, the community is it's give or take. It's some people just act up and just embarrass themselves, Brother Heck. So. But I don't know. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So I greatly appreciate your all's input.
Thank you, everybody.
And hopefully we can find something else out, and we'll just keep an eye on it. But thank you all once again. Y'all have any questions before I let you all go?
Not at all.
All right. Thank you, Angela. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question the other day on the show. But... all right. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all take care. Good night, everybody.
All right. All right. Bye.